Oh my god. You're so awesome, Lawrence Lim.
It's Lawrence Lim with the W.
A man went to visit a friend and was amazed to find him playing chess with his dog. He watched the game in astonishment for a while.
I can hardly believe my eyes. That's the smartest dog I've ever seen.
Nah, he's not so smart. I've beaten him 3 games out of 5.
There's a man who wants a pure wife, so he starts to attend church to find a woman. He meets a young lady who seems nice, so he takes her home. When they get there, he whips out his manhood and asks, "What's this?" She replies, "A cock." He thinks to himself that she is not pure enough. A couple of weeks later, he meets another young lady and soon takes her home. Again, he pulls out his manhood and asks the question. She replies, "A cock." He is pissed off because she seems more pure than the first. A couple of weeks later, he meets a girl who seems really pure. She won't go home with him for a long time, but eventually he gets her to his house. He whips it out and asks, "What's this?" She giggles and says, "A pee-pee." He thinks to himself that he has finally found his woman. They get married, but after several months, every time she sees his member, she giggles and says, "That's your pee-pee." He finally breaks down and says, "Look, this is not a pee-pee, it is a cock." She laughs and says, "No, it's not. A cock is 10 inches long and black."
An attractive woman from New York is driving through a remote part of Texas when her car breaks down. A few minutes later, an Indian on horseback comes along and offers a ride to a nearby town. She climbs up behind him on the horse and they ride off. Every few minutes, the Indian lets out a whoop so loud that it echoes from the surrounding hills. When they arrive in town, he lets her off at a service station and yells one final "Yahoo!" before riding off. "What did you do to get that Indian so excited?" the service station attendant asked. "Nothing," she says. "I just sat behind him on the horse, put my arms around his waist, and held on to his saddle horn so I wouldn't follow." "Lady," the attendant says, "Indians ride bareback."
A man is driving home, drunk as a skunk. Suddenly, he has to swerve to avoid a tree, then another tree, and then another. A police car pulls him over as he swerves all over the road. The drunk tells the cop about all the trees in the road. Very upset, the cop says,
"For God's sake, that's your pine tree air freshener swinging about."
A homeless man walks into a diner with enough change for a cup of coffee. Seated next to him at the counter was a well-dressed man with a bowl of chili in front of him. A few minutes later, the homeless man begins to notice that the stranger next to him is not eating his chili, but rather just staring at it, looking confused and disoriented. Not having eaten in 2 days, the homeless man asked the stranger, "Sir, I'm cold and hungry and haven't eaten in days. If you're not going to eat your chili, do you mind if I have it?" With little acknowledgement, the stranger simply shoves the bowl in his direction. Minutes later, the homeless man, having nearly finished the entire bowl of chili, discovers, in the bottom of the bowl, a small pile of dog turds. Immediately, the homeless man becomes sick and vomits the chili back into the bowl. Finally, the stranger seated next to him turned to him and said, "I know how you feel, buddy. That's about as far as I got, too."